what you see quite often with the black child in the classroom is somewhat of a miniature reflection of the orientation of black adults to white people. For instance, to a great extent, black people look at Reagan as some kind of white daddy, and we see this kind of business, you know, please, in a sense, Daddy Reagan, don't do this, or we're waiting for Daddy Kennedy to come back into the White House. And rarely do we hear a discussion about what are we as black adults going to do to solve our problem. You see, this is communicated to our children, and it's communicated in a way that they too wait for the answer. Blacks think that we've been misled by our leadership, for instance. They think that we can consume our way into equality, and sees equality as an equality of materials. So if I have the same car as a white person, if I have the same house as a white person, you know, a similar job, then I'm equal. But you cannot consume yourself into equality. You must produce yourself into equality, and you move into equality and beyond by productive thinking. Because as long as you're consuming knowledge or you're consuming materials, the guy who is giving it to you or selling it to you is producing at the same time, which means that you never catch up with him because he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of you.
Let's read what this person says. The terrible thing is that these businesses could put out a statement or make a donation or fundraise for a black organization, but no, you rather get on here and deny and call black people racist. It's not about one person. I'm going to play your game now. Did you put out a statement or did you try to fundraise for the Asian community when those black people literally were hurting, killing all those Asian people during COVID? When I got jumped by 5 black people, did you put out a statement? Did you fucking speak out for me? When all the looting that was happening, did you speak out for all those businesses that suffered? I'm gonna say again that I say in every single video. Boycott all you want. That's not my problem. It's your right to boycott. It's your right to spend your money however you want. Just don't hurt innocent businesses that has nothing to do with it just because it's owned by Asians. I cannot be any more clear than this.
The boycott of Asian-owned businesses succeeding? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that definitely not in New York City. Because the other day, I picked up this Chinese nail salon owner. I was talking to him. His business is busier than ever after this rickshaw case. Throughout the ride, every 2 to 5 minutes, he was receiving phone call about scheduling his business. Very confusing because, you know, when you watch the social media, people claim that, oh, we are destroying Asian businesses, stores are empty. This is definitely not happening in New York City.
Sabotaging another ethnicity's business for your own gain is disgraceful and it's not respectable. Furthermore, being in competition with your own culture is the reason why the culture fails, right? You want to go get jewelry, bags, make it look like you're something that you're not, right? Why is it that black culture is the only culture, black Americans, when I say that, is the only culture that doesn't have unity, right, in business, right? You have Chinatown, Koreatown, Little Haiti. You should be trying to earn your culture's business, right? Not sabotaging somebody else's business to get business, right? Why you want to wait till something happens and all of a sudden now you want to support black-owned businesses when you should have been doing that a long time ago? You know what I'm saying? To me, that would be disrespectful as a black business owner, that you're only coming to me now because you're mad at somebody else. Not because you want to come support me, because you're mad at somebody else, right? Do better. Quality work, right? Good customer service. These things will earn the business not only from black people, but from other people too. Having black businesses out there to even go to already debunks the theory that the government's holding you down and you can't make it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no black businesses, right? You're over 30 years old. Your grandmother's sick as hell right now. Your great-grandmother's really sick, right? Because everything that they went through. My grandmother, for sure, grew up deep South, Jim Crow era, right?
And see, even with all the things that we're going through as a people, the chaos that we're up under, right? You still have black Americans that are so traumatized, all we do is attack each other. You have black tethers that come over from oppressed lands, that they're oppressed by the French, the British, the Portuguese, these other groups. They'll still find other black people to be enemies with, right? Dr. Amos Wilson warned us about this. He said we have to be out of our mind to still remain in the conditions that we're in. I keep telling you that we've been conditioned to move the way that we're moved for other people's financial gain. We're behaving the way we were designed to behave. They've broken you and socially engineered and conditioned you. And you play submissive right into the game. Y'all don't believe me? Listen to the elder.
Why are we labeled as maladjusted and so forth? And why do we let another people place labels on us? Why do we let another people call our children learning disabled? Why have not we examined those definitions? To a very great extent, the destruction of our children is taking place because we have accepted without opposition or critical analysis the definition of other people of their behavior. A people who have falsified our history, do not know the psychology of our children nor us, but yet who are arrogant enough to feel that they can label our behavior and then impose programs on them. You must understand, you see, the labeling of behavior is not a mere designation of certain forms of behavior, but is a form of domination. So when you're permitted to label other people, you also are authorizing certain types of behavior toward those people. You're authorizing the withdrawal of certain rights.
And see, Dr. Amos Wilson is spot on, and he's doing a critical analysis of why we're in this position, right? We know all about W supremacy. We got a fifth degree black belt in Bible, Quran, W supremacy, but yet and still, we'll still bypass our own people and go to the Asian stores, right? Go to the Arab stores, a community, whole enclave of black people, right? And no black stores. All the gas stations will be owned by the Arab, right? All the corner stores will be owned by the Asians. Now they're owned by the Dominicans. And yeah, we know that they wasn't giving us loans at one time, but we have the education now. But Dr. Amos Wilson is indicating that it's not just the people in the ghetto. When you move up in the ranks of their education, you're still suffering, right, from this mental mind state that they have you in, because they're your educators. You don't reach back and build and do anything for yourself because they condition you not to believe. You believe the lie. You believe and being an N-word, and you don't want to be a ninja no more. So I'm gonna go over there with them. I'm gonna get their education. I'm gonna move out to their community. I'm gonna move away from my own people. You develop the mindset. You develop the mindset that, with the same mindset that they have towards us, you have it towards your own people. I can no longer live around my people. They're too violent. So what happens is it just stays on a perpetual, it just keeps going on and on and on. We are the only people that can stop it. We're the only people that can stop it. That's why you have these other communities now making fun of us and calling us out and saying a whole bunch of foolishness and don't care. When they get on, when bad things happen to us, they get on a stand and they go against us. Right? They looking at us like we crazy, right? But we'll get more into that because you have a lot of Asians and Latinos that's feeling the heat now because we're saying we're boycotting, right? And they're calling out their own communities. They're calling out their own communities because they feeling the heat, but it's still some talking trash because they don't feel like they got to respect you. They don't feel like they got to respect you. They come over here, they don't understand W supremacy. They don't understand what we've been through. Remember, they was able to leave their country and their oppressive governments and come here and start over. We've been still living under this oppressive government, right? That has nothing to do with them. We fought for them to come here. They don't respect that. They don't care. They came into your community and made money where in their minds, they feel like we're not taking advantage of it. Dr. Amos Wilson, the blueprint to black economics, he been calling this stuff out 40 years ago.
I'm standing in Koreatown, Los Angeles, the heart of the 1992 riots, which were sparked by the tragic murder of Latasha Harlins. Both that case and the murder of Cyrus Carmichael Belton shows that the American judicial system systematically devalues black lives. If the racial roles were reversed, a black store owner chasing an Asian child down the street and shooting them in the back over a false accusation, the legal system would almost certainly hand down a maximum sentence, as we've seen this pattern of overly punishing black perpetrators and under-punishing the attackers of black victims play out again and again. The LA riots wiped out over $500 million of immigrant families' life savings overnight. But that explosion of grief was a blunt instrument as it flattened entire neighborhoods and destroyed the livelihoods of people who had nothing to do with the case, including poor Asian immigrants who had treated all their customers with respect. It also ignored the fact that Asian Americans are not a monolith. Not every Asian person is Korean or Chinese like these two murderers. Not every Korean or Chinese person is racist. The path forward is laser-focused organizing. Don't stereotype and boycott an entire race of people, as that is inherently racist. Target the specific businesses that disrespect Black customers, treating them like criminals, because I don't want to shop at an Asian business that disrespects my friends. Let's put Black and Asian dollars into Black businesses while not punishing Asian businesses that have always treated Black folks with kindness and respect. I know it wouldn't be fair for me to boycott all Black businesses just because one Black person harmed an Asian person. Let's stamp out racism in all of our communities and work towards collective liberation together.
Asian boycott thing? Are y'all serious? Because I think it's pretty clear what's happening.
You're about to completely miss the point of what the boycott is and why there is a boycott, and you're about to play victim, right?
That this is like just an excuse, a nitpicked excuse to be more openly racist to Asians.
Mind you, this is a result of anti-Blackness from the Asian community, my love. And the response is Black folks are saying, hey, we're just going to take our spending power elsewhere, to places where we are respected. Wanting to spend money with someone that doesn't respect you is not you being racist.
More than you guys already are.
I have a question. Okay, so as the palm color bitch, are you talking to white folks or... Because you can't be talking about the folks that you follow around in your stores. You can't be talking about a group of individuals that actually led social justice movements that you benefited from. You can't be talking about the group of individuals that your Asian rappers base their whole identities on. I'm just a little bit confused. Who are we talking about?
Like, do you guys think we're not aware of how much racism Asians actually face?
Don't think anybody was saying that. I don't think anybody was saying that Asian folks don't face racism in America. I feel as though the conversation was more Asian folks in America realize, call out the racism of their own community. Asian Americans stop trying to gain this proximity to whiteness. I don't see the issue. Oh my God, if there's Asian Americans that are being racist, there's a group of individuals and they say, hey, I actually don't want to spend money with y'all. Why are y'all crying?
And also, did we forget about Stop Asian Hate, a movement that was made specifically because Asians as well were getting targeted racially and killed?
You know that Asian Americans weren't allowed in the United States until the civil rights movement that was led by Black Americans? Is this conversation like, are you trying to have this with white folks or who's the target audience? I don't know if you knew, but the Asian boycotts weren't led by the palm color folks, right? So if that's who your energy is towards, maybe take the Asian boycotts out of it.
And because of one scenario?
Just because you say it's one scenario doesn't make that true. Yikes.
Mind you, Asians in general have gone through so much racism.
And nobody is saying that Asian folks aren't experiencing racism. My love, who said that? Being honest, the Asian community should have more smoke for the palm color folks. Instead of trying to be the model minority, the honorary whites. Peekaboo.
Y'all want to use that as an excuse to be like openly racist towards Asians now and like have a reason to like destroy their businesses?
A boycott is not racism. Not wanting to spend money with someone is not racism. Even if it was just one scenario, the gaslighting, acting as if though it was nothing, and oh my God, but like, you want to destroy my business. Why would you want to deny, like, say that you don't want to spend money with me when I'm literally, this is how my community acts, and I'm just, but still spend money. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, what?
The boycott of Asian-owned businesses succeeding? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that definitely not in New York City. Because the other day, I picked up this Chinese nail salon owner. I was talking to him. His business is busier than ever after this Perpetual case. Throughout the ride, every 2 to 5 minutes, he was receiving phone call about scheduling his business. Very confusing because, you know, when you watch the social media, people claim that, oh, we are destroying Asian businesses, stores are empty. This is definitely not happening in New York City.
To all the ignorant Asians out there, here's a list of things the Black community has done for us. The Filipino and Black community share a similar history of dealing with racism, economic exploitation, and imperialism. During the Filipino-American War, Black leaders such as Ida B. Wells supported Philippine independence. Black soldiers who fought on the American side ended up leaving their military positions to join the Filipino freedom fighters. The Civil Rights Movement outlawed racial segregation, which directly protected Asian Americans as well. Frederick Douglass advocated against the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. This isn't taking away from the hard work our Asian leaders have done to fight for our equality, but it's important we acknowledge that a lot of the progress we made is because we got help from the Black community. So in a time where K-pop idols are wearing cornrows and Filipinos are grateful for American colonization, let's get educated, y'all. We're in this together.
And see, what I keep hearing is them saying that we're singling the whole community out. We're calling out the whole community because of one person's actions. But ain't that's what y'all been doing to us for years? We go into stores and you follow us around, hurry up and buy. Ain't that's what all of you groups do? You guys want to be the model minority. You use all the talking points that W supremacists have used on us, where they destabilized your countries. That's why you come here. They practice racism on your countries. That's why you speak English, right? They did all these things. We know what the U.S. government did. What U.S. government in Britain did in China, right? We know what they did to Japan, right? We know what they done in the Dominican Republic and all these other places. But for somehow, y'all come here with all the smoke for Black Americans. Black Americans have never put any laws to harm your people or drop bombs or done anything. This is why Dr. Amos Wilson been breaking us down about the stereotypes that's been on us and how we've been conditioned to go along with them, how they broke our minds.
Why do Black Americans always pick a fight with every damn group of people and race in America and also outside of America? It's crazy because every time I see this happen, they always say, well, let's boycott these people. So they've tried boycotting Targets, Home Depot, African restaurants, African braiders and salons, and now Asian businesses. And what's funny to me is that they always try to use this movement to boost like Black businesses or support Black businesses. Yet I've seen so many videos of you guys complaining about Black businesses, saying that Black salons and nail techs and hair braiders, they overcharge. They always want us to pay upfront fee. Other people don't do that, and they're very rude, and they cancel all the time. There's so much complaint. And then when it comes to even Black restaurants, like the ones that Keith Lee have reviewed, the customer services are ridiculous. And now even the Black servers have complained that the people who stress them out are Black people because they don't tip or that they leave the restaurants without even paying. Those are just a few. So if y'all decide to start boycotting all the communities, the white community, Asian community, African community, because y'all are never satisfied, because you want to feel superior so bad, because you always have issues with everyone, who do you think is going to lose? Because I promise you, you're doing everyone a favor. Because if you're having problems with everyone, the problem isn't everyone else, the problem is you.
I don't miss America at all. I am so happy. How about we start boycotting businesses that fund politicians that destroy our communities? How about instead of Asian businesses, let's start boycotting Home Depot. Black people, get your focus right. Get your focus right. Meta, Amazon, y'all not gonna do that. Meta supports the Trump administration big time. And the thing is, look at that. You have all this overzealousness to let's boycott the Asians, and you don't even know the corporations that you may support every day that support and fund politicians that are destroying Black communities. Meta employs less than % of African Americans, and people were using Meta platforms to talk about a boycott of Target.
I am just sitting here thinking about how Black people in the community are so upset with the Asian community and they want to boycott. I'm not boycotting a whole race and nation of people. That's not happening. I understand if you go into a place and they treat you badly in an Asian restaurant or nail salon and they treat you badly, boycott that place. Boycott those people. They're the ones who treated you badly. I'm not going to boycott a whole race and a whole nation of people who treated me. And I go places all the time into Asian communities and places of business. I have my supper group meeting at the Asian Jade's Asian Buffet the last Saturday of every month. And I'm not going to sit up here and boycott people who treat me like a celebrity and who treat me wonderfully. I'm not going to do that because that don't make any sense to me. I treat each and every individual as individuals. I don't have time to sit up here and focus on nonsense. And if you want to boycott someone, black community, how many of you black women went and supported that Michael Jackson movie when Michael Jackson makes it very clear that he don't want to have anything to do with black women? This is a dude who suffers with colorism. He feels that anything that's light, pale, or Caucasian, that's where it's at. He has no problem trying to tear down his own race and nation of women. He didn't even want his children to come from a black woman. So you want to boycott? What about that? Boycott anything that he got going on. And what about boycott all of these black men who will uplift, glorify, elevate every single Caucasian woman they could get their hands on?
I often put it this way. In order for us to be in the state that we're in today as people, we have to be out of our minds. We literally have to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be backwards. It is necessary for us to be maladjusted. It is necessary for us to be disunited. It is necessary for us to be self-hating. It is necessary for us to be filled with an inferiority complex. In a world where the European is essentially about 10% of the world's population, if that 10% is to continue to rule over the other 90%, it must keep that 90% out of its mind. It must keep that 90% in a state of deception. It must keep that 90% filled with a feeling of powerlessness and incompetence. If this 10% is to continue to consume more than 60% of the world's resources, if this 10% is to continue to rob African, Asian, and other nations of their material wealth, then it must keep those people in a state of maladjustment. And this implies then that no matter how much integration you may bring about, the feeling of inferiority must be a constant in the black personality. No matter how many people you run for president, no matter how many mayors you get elected, no matter how many people you get on the board of IBM and the others, the basic sense of inferiority, the basic sense of dependency must remain a constant in the black mind. And I will indicate this, and I think this study, which occurred now some 40 years later.
So the elder is spot on, man. And the boycott is raging, but we got to go far beyond the boycott. We have to get back into ownership of controlling our own destiny, controlling our own minds. I keep telling you guys, the first part of reparations is repairing the mind, not responding to those things that you was called, understanding who you really are, the power that you really have. When we say that we influence the world, now we have to act like it. Because other groups from a distance, yeah, we do. But when they come here and they see our conditions and the way that we're moving and thinking, they take advantage of it. They come in, everybody, listen, we funded everybody's American dream, but not funding our own. Everybody's making money off of us, sending their kids to private schools, becoming the model minority for W folks, right? Copying our culture, while at the same time saying that we don't have a culture. So the very things that we're mad about, and we say we want to take things back, well, we have to take things back and no longer become the consumer. We have to make them pay for it. The door's locked. You have to ring the doorbell and purchase these things now. It's for sale. That's the way that we got to operate. And this is what the great Dr. Amos Wilson is telling us. No longer responding to those labels. Taking back what's been stolen from us. And what was stolen from us? Our minds. This is why we can sit in the communities and allow these things to happen to us. Allow these things to happen. You got to go outside of yourself to get all the essential things that you need. So why would you see the relevance in your brother? This is what they've done to the mind of the black man. The mind of the black woman. That's why we come online and commit verbal genocide on each other. That's why we develop, I can't wait to get the F out of here mentality. We can't wait to get up to a certain level of money and run away from our own communities, right? While the other groups come in and say, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll take this, I'll take that. And then when we get discriminated, we act like we don't understand. We are behaving the way we were designed to behave for other people's financial gain. Black dysfunction is very profitable for everybody but us. So it's more to just boycotting, right? You have to put demands on your people. See, because they had government help. We're not getting the government help to restore and redevelop our communities. So we got to find other tangible ways to make it work. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.